mean, he's got so many other things going on that I don't know. But yeah.
I was amazed when he married Jennifer Lopez.
Who?
He did.
Did they get married?
Well, no, actually, I think they were in a relationship. They might not have been married. That was weird.
Yeah, and well, there's people that say she knew a lot about what was going on. And actually, I heard something about her. Now, I'm not sure if this is true. Ben Affleck, you know how they separated pretty quickly. And I always thought it was because this thing was coming out with P. Diddy, and maybe Ben thought he just wanted to get away from it, kind of, because she dated him around that time. But supposedly, and this might not be true either, but Ben Affleck came home one day and Jennifer Lopez was doing something called, I can't remember. It's a black magic from New Orleans. It's called Sweden or something like that.
I think so.
And that she was practicing it on something like Ben Affleck's picture or something. And he got freaked out and he was like, I don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. So that supposedly is what happened. But he's not confirming it. But I do know their divorce happened pretty quickly. I thought that was kind of interesting. Like one day they seemed like okay, and the next they were,
You noticed that Mark Edworthy has like a candle lit and burning in the background?
You can't see.
Actually, no, it's my backlight that's flickering. I've got a LED light to the top here and it's flickering.
And see,
that's
something they've talked about. And J-Lo and some of them being into the, what is it, the Illuminati. That was kind of weird that J-Lo, Ben came forward with this. Well, he didn't. A story came forward about it. Supposedly he told somebody. But, they said a lot of those people are in the Illuminati. They've sold their soul to the devil to be so famous. But I don't know how much.
There's a big thing going around about Hollywood and the Illuminati and MK Ultra.
Yeah.
Well,
that was what it was with Beyonce and J-Lo, and gosh, there's a lot of them. But yeah, did you find it?
Yeah, there was that Australian show that Telly Savalas was on was called The Extraordinary.
I've never heard of it.
It was big in the.
See, that's what. See, this is what I'm talking about with Mark. Like, Mark's English. He should know all this British stuff, and he just.
Well, I know. Well, yeah, I know the connection with him and Christopher Lee, but again, and some of these other American films, but yeah, as far as these Australian activities.
So is Telly Savalas actually British? Is he English?
Is he? I think he's from California or something. I think
he was Greek.
Actually.
He's of Greek descent.
Yeah, he was. I think he was the Greek Cypriot. He was from Cyprus, wasn't he?
His parents were Greek immigrants, I think, and I believe he grew up in New York.
Okay.
So I don't want to say anything that's inappropriate because, well, I mean, you know how I feel about Greek.
No, I don't. How come you feel about it? What's wrong with that?
How do you feel about
Greeks are like all homosexuals. They run around in funny looking clothes and stuff.
Oh, he was a man.
I don't think he was gay though.
Actually, he was. Yeah, he saw the ghost. He was coming home from a date. He said.
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
He was. He was one of the straight Greeks.
Well, think about it. Okay, you gotta really be realistic here. You know how Greek people are. Okay.
No. How are they?
They always have to look and act masculine. So even if they are gay, you're not gonna know unless they tell you.
Well, I mean, the possibility.
That's
Rock
possible,
Hudson.
but
Rock Hudson was gay, and who would have ever thought that?
I'll be right
my
back.
God.
He wore suits.
Yeah.
You know, he was a suit wearer. He
But he was a man too.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? He was, well, he could have been Greek.
I don't think he was though. I think, of course, back then he had to kind of hide it. It wasn't popular.
Yeah.
And people were more judgmental than they are today. I mean, it wouldn't probably mess him up. Well, it might have the way he was back then.
Well, he was also a sex object. You got to remember that. Like, whenever everybody thinks sex objects, they think women were just sex objects. But like,
Yeah, that can ruin. Being a star and stuff. It's all about the image you create for yourself,
which,
and you're not always
which
right.
Which takes us back to Hollywood. You know, MK Ultra and
Yeah.
and the Illuminati, and we were talking about it recently about well, look at Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of people freaking think that she was possibly MK Ultra too. She was brainwashed because of the stuff.
She got famous pretty quickly.
And look at the relationships. She said she was in a relationship with the JFK before she committed suicide.
Well, both of the brothers, yeah.
Oh yeah, actually, I didn't even think Bobby too.
Yeah. I mean, that everybody's kind of thinking that they killed her, so
Yeah.
make it look like a suicide.
And like, if you go even deeper, look at Jacqueline Kennedy. I mean, she handled JFK's assassination pretty well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then she went and married the richest was he an oil magnate? Who was that she married? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
He was a Greek dude.
He was Greek.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, he was so wealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my...
I always thought that was kind of weird how she married him and like, yeah. Oh, Onassis, Aristotle Onassis.
Yeah. Yes.
That was so strange. The whole thing about JFK was weird.
Yeah.
The whole thing. All about the Kennedys and everything. Both of the brothers,
But, I mean, there actually could be some truth in that whole thing with Hollywood, though, because, like, you remember the little girl that played on what was it? It's a Wonderful Life. It's the one about Santa Claus where he was on in that Macy's Day Parade.
Oh.
Miracle on 31st Street.
The one with Jimmy Stewart in it? Yeah.
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 You remember that little girl right there? She was actually they considered her maybe being a part of MK Ultra too, because her death was mysterious, just like Marilyn Monroe's.
Oh.
I forgot.
Now I know there was a girl that died when they were doing. Was it the Poltergeist? She had stomach issues, and they said that they couldn't figure out what it was, and then she had like some kind of septic shock or something. She died from. But I don't know if they think that was weird or anything.
I thought it was.
But in the Poltergeist, there was some weird things going on with that.
I thought it was like anus. Didn't she have like cancer in her butt?
No, that's Farrah Fawcett. Wasn't that Farrah Fawcett? Lady. No, I'm talking about the little girl in Poltergeist.
Yeah, the little blonde girl.
The blonde girl. No, she had stomach issues.
I forget what her name was.
And they couldn't, like, they did all these things and they couldn't find out what it was. And then she passed away. And then they looked, I think she had a blockage or something. But back at that time, it was kind of hard. They did exploratory surgery, couldn't find some things. And when you're that little, you really can't describe everything that's going on sometimes. But yeah, and then who else died in that? There was a lot of weird stuff going on in the movie.
That Native American guy, the Indian guy in
was that the Poltergeist? Yeah. He
was in that too. He was supposed to be like a shaman in the movie or something. He passed away. Yeah,
weird though. It was kind of weird just suddenly. And who else? What was else? There was just strange things that had happened during that movie when they were filming it. And same with The Exorcist, and what was the one that with the guy with the looked like my brother?
Oh, that was
Oh my goodness,
The Exorcist.
Was that The Exorcist?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he was the preacher in it.
Yeah.
He died from the flu, I think.
Yeah, but I have my theories about The Exorcist, though, because first of all, you don't mess with Pazuzu, okay? And
you don't do what?
You don't mess.
Don't do it again.
You don't mess with Pazuzu, and when the way they portrayed Pazuzu in that movie was freaking. They should have been ashamed of themselves because.
Yeah, a Catholic priest.
Yeah, you don't mess with that, and I'm not even going to repeat it. I'm not going to say its name. I'm not going to do that.
And there's this Catholic priest.
I won't even speak its name.
There's a Catholic priest I've watched before. Actually, I saw him. It was kind of a paranormal interview because he's one of the few exorcists in America. And he's talking about how he's so busy now. And he does talk about that movie. And he does talk about how it's not realistic, really. And a bit bad just to even be in movies like that or dabble with. But he does real exorcisms. He says, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in that movie that's not, depicted correctly. But he says it's nothing to mess with.
Well, the figurine that they show on there. Now,
yeah,
he could be both good or evil, all right? And a lot of people back in those days would take that little figurine and they would bury it in the front of their doors and in the back of their doors, around the house to ward off evil spirits. So it was how you had that relationship with that spirit or daemon is what they called him, that determined if he was going to be good or if he's going to be bad. So
well, and like gargoyles and stuff, they're supposed to protect the castles and stuff from bad entities, but they look spooky. I guess you could use them for something bad.
Well, gargoyles are fictional.
Yeah, they are, but the people put them up for like if you go, we went to see Biltmore Estates in North Carolina have. The gargoyles are like, they built them like that because it's supposed to ward off evil spirits and be good juju for your house or karma. But, they really are.
Juju.
But they're so scary looking. They're scary.
Bad juju.
And I went to there's a place called Waverly Sanitarium. Have you ever heard of that? It's this sanitarium in Kentucky. And it had TB patients, and it's supposed to be haunted. It's empty now, and they're trying to fix it up like a hotel or something, but they do tours. And they have gargoyles all over that place. But it's supposed to be haunted, and it's spooky. But yeah.
Being in Britain, you obviously a lot of old Victorian, Georgian houses here, buildings here, and I've got there's a place just, I don't know, half a mile away from me, with quite a few gargoyles outside.